Hey, happy Monday! 17th day of February 2020 is upon us. It's a Monday. Can't trust that day. It's also a holiday. It's President's Day. Happy President's Day. A lot of people are sleeping in today. A lot of people get the day off. Of course, there's no school. Governmental offices will be closed. Most financial institutions will be closed. No mail delivery. Link transit not running today on this President's Day. Although federally, it's still called Washington's birthday. That's the name of the federal holiday. Pretty much everybody else calls it President's Day. So if you got the day off, thanks for waking up and joining us anyway here. On Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, as you can see behind me, a beautiful sunrise is just about upon us, and we are in for a gorgeous stretch of weather all week long. High pressure is going to make itself felt. The only trade-off, the overnight low is going to be a little chilly, a little patchy freezing fog, but we're going to have beautiful sunny, warm skies throughout the course of this week until we get to the weekend, and things are going to change again. Mountain passes, by the way, are getting hammered right now. We'll take you up there as well for you travelers on this holiday, plus everything else you're used to, including a bunch of sports, the latest headlines, the obscure holiday. Mike McNaughty's got an opinion. Happy recovery, Mike. He's got a new hip. That's cool. Also, we have some celebrity birthdays and today in history. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. At a couple minutes after the hour, just about as good as it gets right now. Sunrise is not quite officially here, 7:03, so we're about a minute away from sun officially rising in the east. The sun will be hanging around all day today, we're told, until about 5:27 this afternoon. That buys us 10 hours and 24 minutes of daylight. And yeah, big ridge of high pressure is going to drive the weather all week long, which means there's nothing going to be out there to really... It's going to be fine. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be nice. Like in that 48, our high yesterday. Hope you had a chance to get out and enjoy it. You'll have a chance to do that all week long with this beautiful weather. All right, camera number 2. Megan gets to decide. Oh, good one, Megan. That looks to be Leavenworth to me, although I don't really know what I'm looking at. That's the Tumwater Canyon, but we're zoomed way in there on the lovely hamlet of Leavenworth. Boy, that's an extreme close-up. That camera not quite right as you enter the Tumwater Canyon on your way up to Winton and Coles Corner and Lake Wenatchee, but it's pretty close to that. That's a pretty cool looking little view right there. Good stuff, Megan. Hello, Leavenworth. How are you today? Camera number 3. We're taking a look at Jump Off Ridge, Megan. Is that correct? Looks like it's zoomed out quite a bit. As you can see, it's all kind of blue right now. Still a lot of snow up in the Stimmill Basin, as you can tell. Of course, higher elevation. Everybody's going to be getting some, whatever snow's out there is going to be melting, as we'll see temperatures in the 40s most of this week. Good looking view from Jump Off Ridge, the Wenatchee Valley way off in the distance. And finally, camera number 4. Oh boy, that's a, let me think here, let me look. I give up, Megan. Oh, that's the Coles Corner camera, just a different angle. Oh, okay, you can see a little sliver of Lake Wenatchee and or Fish Lake off there to the right. So now I got you. Thanks, Megan. Good stuff. Speaking of Coles Corner, I just mentioned that. So good morning to our friends up in the Lake Wenatchee area. And as I mentioned, we're in for just a gorgeous stretch of weather all week long. Hope you have the day off today. A lot of people do because it's going to be a beautiful day. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the week ahead. What are we in store for? National Weather Service sent us this slide. Pretty basic, as I mentioned before. Ridge of high pressure is going to set up. No major weather impacts. Just dry and mild. A little chilly at night. That's all we really have to deal with. Outside of that, the rest of this work week, it looks just wonderful indeed. If you like gobs of gooey good sunshine, and I'm one of those. Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They give your home a hug, and they sponsor the weather forecast. Look how easy that is to do. Sunshine today, high of 43, clear tonight, 24 for the overnight low. The overnight low is going to be getting chilly. We're at 32 right now, with the overnight lows dipping down into the mid-20s. It's going to take a little while longer for the sun to get going and warming us up on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as you can see. So there you go. Lots of sunshine until, wouldn't you know, we get to the weekend. Friday night, we're going to start cloud up a little bit. We'll have quite a bit of cloud cover and a chance of rain. Slightly warmer temperatures on Saturday and Sunday with highs in the upper 40s, and overnight lows will be above freezing. Lots of sunshine, a little bit of patchy fog, freezing fog in the morning, and that's really all we have to be worried about. Looks good. I love high pressure this time of the year. Sometimes we get high pressure and it traps all the clouds and the fog close to the valley's surface, we get that inversion, which is very typical for the middle of February, but that's not going to be the case this week. Sunshine, get out and enjoy. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're broadcasting live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group here in North Central Washington. And one of the things we enjoy doing is teaching people how to find the right Part D drug plan. And you know, if you went into a shoe shop and they just sat you down and handed you a pair of shoes, that'd be confusing. You'd want them to measure. Well, we take a measurement at Springwater Insurance Group. We ask you 4 questions. What's the name, the dose, the frequency, and the pharmacy for your medications? This allows us to measure and get the right fit for 2020. Give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group for the right fit for your drug plan at 888-2600.
The 2 hottest pickups in America are at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, the Ram 1500 with back-to-back Truck of the Year awards from Motor Trend, and now the Car and Driver 10 Best list for 2020. They call it a luxury sedan with pickup capabilities. Ram is on a roll now with 3rd-generation eco-diesel power. Next up, the Jeep Gladiator, also a 2020 10 Best model based on the new award-winning Jeep Wrangler. It has options and capabilities that no other truck can offer. 2 more reasons when it comes to buying a truck. There's no reason to leave town.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he was here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point.
It's a nice coconut.
Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life channel. And we are back at 7 minutes after the hour. We have clear skies and 32 degrees in north central Washington. I neglected to touch on the major mountain passes. Real quickly, chains are required right now on I-90. Traction tires are required on Stevens Pass. Traction tires are advised on Blewett Pass. Lots of snow coming out there, but they have let the winter weather advisory expire. And once we get through the day today, nothing but clear skies for the mountain passes as well. But if you're planning on taking the mountain passes, give the plows a couple hours to get the job done, and you should be all right. Here's what's making headlines on this Monday morning. The Spokane man who represented himself at his child rape trial convicted on Friday. It was his 47th birthday, too. Jeremy Douglas Pedersen spent last week on trial in Chelan County questioning witnesses, including the 13-year-old girl he victimized. Wenatchee police said Pedersen twice sexually abused the child around 2011 and again in 2012 when she was 7 years old. The jury convicted Pedersen Friday afternoon on a count of first-degree child rape, but acquitted him of a related charge of child molestation. He's scheduled for sentencing next month before Judge Leslie Allen, when he could face at least 9 years in prison. A broken Chelan County PUD water line, led to a mud flow Thursday along School Street above Wenatchee's Sunny Slope neighborhood. PUD water manager Ron Slabaugh says the leak at School Street and Solstice Lane was relatively minor, but it went on for some time before it was finally detected. That was late Wednesday. When the repairs began Thursday morning, mud and debris flowed down to School Street. The PUD says it's hired a private contractor to clear away the mud flow from the street and nearby properties between Solstice Lane and Ridgeview Boulevard. The cleanup could take upwards of a week. Douglas County may soon invite the public into their negotiations with public employee unions. County commissioners plan to hold a meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on a resolution that calls for collective bargaining to take place in open meetings and for all contract proposals to be posted as public documents even before a contract is settled. Douglas County commissioners told our very own Steve Harry it's a way to increase transparency.
All monies that are spent via negotiated contracts, they're taxpayer dollars. And when you're involving taxpayer dollars, I think it's really important to at least offer them the opportunity to see what's going on in the negotiations. And it also helps protect the labor side of the issue in that they know that everybody is negotiating in good faith.
Now, some union representatives disagree with that. 5 different bargaining units represent about 200 Douglas County employees, including administrative staff, sheriff's deputies, highway crews, and so forth. Members say it's part of a statewide effort to weaken the union's bargaining power. Similar resolutions have been voted on in Franklin, Kittitas, and Lincoln counties. Legal challenges in those counties may wind up in the Washington State Supreme Court. Congresswoman Kim Schreier plans another town hall appearance. It's coming up this weekend here in Wenatchee. It'll be on Friday, as a matter of fact. It's her first visit of 2020, but the 8th District Democrat from Sammamish has spent a lot of time meeting with her Wenatchee Valley constituents since her election 2 years ago. The meet and greet starts at 6 o'clock on February 21st at the Wenatchee Community Center, just down the road from us. Admission is free, but you can book advanced seating online through Eventbrite. She'll also be hosting a roundtable discussion at the Mercantile on Saturday morning, and Congresswoman Schreier will also be taking a walking tour of downtown Wenatchee on Saturday afternoon. And that's a look at what's making headlines at 11 minutes after the hour on this President's Day Monday. It may be a holiday for a lot of people, but not for us. As you can tell, we're here and we're working. We're just not working real hard. With a preview of tonight's news, here's Grant Olson.
Good Monday morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, Wenatchee residents are being given the chance to turn the tables and give a report card to their schools. I'll have a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast for the week ahead, and Eric Granstrom will be in with a look at all the weekend sports action. That and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
I make a point of watching the news every night. I watch it on my smart TV when I get home. That way I can, watch it whenever I want to. You can do that too. You can watch it at 5, 6, or 10, or you can watch it on your smart device. We'll have the news up and running on our website right around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers, and it turns out we have a number of them when we broadcast the Cashmere Boys and Girls playoff games on Saturday. Had a lot of people come up and compliment our little TV station that could. Love to hear from you. Bottom of the screen is all the different ways you can get a hold of us. Email us news@ncwlife.com. If you go to our website, ncwlife.com, you'll see the Contact Us icon. Click on that, fill out the form, or you can pick up the phone and call us, or you can go to our Facebook page and drop us a line via Facebook Messenger. We're going to take a break at 13 minutes after the hour, and what a weekend it was in sports. Sports is right around the corner. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing. Located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. See their full line of Crown Line boats. Crown Line features the Forte gel coat, which perfectly accentuates the sporty silhouette of this boat. Its contours are further enhanced by Crown Line's patented Fast Tab hull design, which not only embraces the distinctive sports car styling, but also ensures a safe and comfortable ride. See Crown Line boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors. We're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Gorgeous sunrise, 32 degrees, lots of sunshine, lower 40s with lots of sunshine all week long. Beautiful week. Here's what's making headlines in sports, and what a weekend in sports. The Wenatchee Wild have not lost in the month of February. They have won 7 in a row. The Cashmere boys and girls won the district championships, and Haley Van Lith now stands alone. We're going to start with Haley Van Lith, the senior from Cashmere. Went into Saturday's district championship game against OMAC. She needed 42 points to break the state record in girls basketball for career points, and it was apparent early on that she wanted to get it over with on Saturday night. Our cameras were there. Eric Granstrom was there. Here you go.
She'll get it into the corner, then collect it to Van Lith inside. Turnaround shot, good. Ball stolen away by Johnson. Again, feeds to Haley Van Lith. Spins in the lane, shoots it, makes it. Had the lead 5-4, but it's been 15 straight points. Here's a dribble around the back. Haley Van Lith falling away. Good! Count the bucket! Oh, my! Van Lith looking inside, had Riley Johnson flash. Now she'll drive, shoot it, and make it. Left hand for the right side. Haley Van Lith for the quarter, 14 of the ball game, 30-10. 20-point lead for Cashmere, their largest. We'll slow it down at the center circle. Riley, cross court pass to Haley. Three-pointer on the way. Good! Haley Van Lith. And they're going to say a timeout taken by Cashmere. 68-19 is the score. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16. That's it. That's it for Haley Van Lith. She has broken the state record with that three-pointer. Haley has eclipsed the mark by Jennifer Stinson. Haley Van Lith with 2,882 points, and she's not done yet. But Van Lith with a standing ovation here by the crowd tonight. Tell me about this night and getting ready for this game, and I know you had to get it. You had 42 points. Did you want to get it done tonight?
Yeah, I think it was important for me to do it in front of my community since they've been a part of this whole journey for me, and just to have them here and witness it was great. It was a great atmosphere for my team, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to win the game. So if I didn't get it tonight, that would have been fine. I would have been just fine with the dub.
For the record, she now has 2,886 career points, and she has, well, more games to play, of course, off to the playoffs. Congratulations, Haley, from all of us here at the NCAA Live Channel. There were other games over the weekend. Let's take a look at the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard, shall we? As you can see, Moses Lake finished the regular season with a big victory over Wenatchee. On Saturday, the Central Washington 2B District Tournament, Brewster beat Liberty Bell, Waterville, Mansfield topped Lake Roosevelt. And in the other game at Eastmont High School on Saturday, Okanagan ended Chelan's season 38-29. So the schedule this week, in the Big Nine, the girls, their district play-in games are tomorrow. Davis will play at Eisenhower at 5:30. Wenatchee's at West Valley at 7. The district championship Friday. Moses Lake will host Sunnyside at 6. The winners of tomorrow's games will play the highest remaining seed Friday at 6 o'clock. The winner of that game will take on the loser of Sunnyside and Moses Lake for the last chance to regionals. The District 6 1A tournament wraps up tomorrow at 5 at Eastmont High School. Loser-out game between Okanagan and OMAC. The winner advances to regionals along with the Cashmere girls. The next round of the games comes up on February 28th or 29th. Here's what the District 5-6 2A tournament looks like. As they go to the Sun Dome in Yakima, Selah plays Toppenish. Grandview will take on Prosser. The winners will play Wednesday at 7. East Valley and Ellensburg will play the district championship Saturday at 7:30. The District 6 2B tournament shifts to the Lake Chelan Community Gym tomorrow. Liberty Bell and Orville, Waterville, Mansfield. Brewster will do battle for the district championship at 6:30. As far as the District 6 1B tournament, that's going to be at Eastmont Junior High on Thursday. You see the schedule there on your screen. That's all, ladies. Let's talk boys basketball playoffs. Well, We were there on Saturday. Electricity's still in the air after the Cashmere girls' resounding defeat, and Haley Van Lith sharing getting that scoring record. The Cashmere boys wanted to follow suit, and they did. It was Cashmere and Okanagan. Sam Phillips, the hero for the Bulldogs. Once again, highlights with Eric Granstrom.
Outside, a little weave again. Sam Phillips inside, and beautiful with the bucket. Sam Phillips, 21 points. Brooks Elliott off to Alberts as they work this just passing game to perfection nearly. Down to Sam Phillips for a three. Good. Sam with yet another three-pointer. Brooks Elliott on the baseline. Wraparound pass to Sam Phillips for a three-pointer. Good. My goodness. Sam Phillips feeling it tonight. So the Cashmere Bulldogs will be the District 6 1A champions after a 58-44 win over the Okanagan Bulldogs.
Yeah, so this is our fourth time playing them. We're kind of used to their scheme, but they're kind of used to us, so we tried to switch a few things up, but overall we just tried to out-hustle them and be stronger and just use our experience because we're a pretty old team. So
talk about shooting from outside. Sometimes it goes in. Tonight it went in a lot from outside.
Yeah, we shot good. We've been really working on our shooting at practice, and they just went in tonight. So
the Cashmere girls win district, the Cashmere boys win district. And by the way, in the game prior to that, Omak ended Chelan's season 71-64. Back to Friday, the District 6 2B tournament. Brewster handled Liberty Bell. Lake Roosevelt beat Orville. Coming up on the Big Nine boys schedule this week, Wenatchee will host Moses Lake tomorrow night at 6. We will have that game right here on the NCW Live channel. It'll be live on our Facebook stream. It'll have it on TV on a tape delay basis by 1/2 an hour. And the other Big Nine play-in game is Davis hosting Sunnyside at 6 o'clock. Eastmont will play at West Valley Thursday for the district championship. The Wenatchee Moses Lake winner will take on the winner of Sunnyside and Davis. The loser of the district championship game will host the winner of Thursday's other game Saturday at 6 o'clock. For the last chance at state. District 6 1A tournament concludes for the boys tomorrow at Eastmont High School. Omak will take on Okanagan at 7:30. That's a loser-out game. The Omak-Okanagan winner will travel to the loser of Deer Park in Freeman Saturday at 5 o'clock for a chance to go to state. And the Newport Medical Lake winner will play at Cashmere Saturday at 6:30. District 5-6 2A tournament at the Sundome. They have afraid of taking on Prosser. East Valley takes on Ellisburg. The winners of those two games will play one another Wednesday at 5. Sealer will play Toppenish for the district championship. Central Washington District Tournament tomorrow. Liberty Bells at Orville. It's a 3rd and 4th place game. Brewster will be at Lake Roosevelt for the district championship tomorrow at 8 o'clock. The Central Washington 1B tournament will be at Eastmont Junior High School Thursday. Antioch plays Pateros. It's a semifinal. The other semifinal is Riverside Christian and Moses Lake. The winner of those two games will play at 1 o'clock Saturday for the district championship. 33 boys and 4 girls from our area punched their tickets to the state wrestling tournament over the weekend. Take a look at all the winners there. By the way, Sunnyside took the team title. Moses Lake 2nd, Wenatchee 4th. There you go. Lots of wrestling going on in the Region 2 4A wrestling. In 2A wrestling, 7 wrestlers will represent Quincy and Ephrata at MAC Classic. They made it through regionals last weekend. And in the Region 4 1A wrestling, 7 wrestlers from local schools in the Caribou Trail League made it through on their way to state. And finally, in girls wrestling in Region 4, 4 girls will represent the region at the MAC Classic in Tacoma over the weekend. The Wenatchee Wild entered the weekend in 5th place in the Interior Division. They are now in 3rd place. They've won 7 in a row. They swept all 3 games of the weekend, including Vernon 5-2 a Friday night on Valentine's night. With the highlights, our checker.
Point. Morton curls, wrister, tipped in front, rebound, shot, score! Noah Luley puts home the rebound, and the Wild lead it 1-0. Young back to Herzog. He's in, shoots, he scores! Now the penalty to Tanaka Campbell had expired, so that's going to be a 5-on-4 power play goal. But Herzog's snipe puts Wenatchee up 2-0. Morton to Dorsey. Dorsey turned it over in front, shot and a score. Oh, Dorsey with a behind-the-back dish, turned it over into the slot. Puck cleared by the Wild. Angles in on net, stolen away at the side, and now behind the back, and a score! Sam Morton stolen away a short-handed goal, and he spun around and threw a behind-the-back no-look shot, went right through the wickets, and the Wild now lead it 3-1. Head for Ethan Wolters. Wolters cuts to the front of the net, shot, and he scores! Ethan Wolters went hard to the net down the left side, cut to the front, and it went off the arm of Herbst and just trickled inside the post and in. Holt moves it along into the near corner. It's boxed out there. Chorsky helps move it along, but it bounces loose. Kowalski in front, shot on a score. Dawson Holt able to trickle one through. And then to Dorsey. Now Wolders into the empty net. And that'll put the finishing touches most likely on this one as the Wild now lead it 5-2.
So that was Friday night. On Saturday, for the last regular season game of the year, Chilliwack was in town. Big crowd. Wild come out on top, 4-2. Once again, our checker with the highlights.
This cross-corner dump-in is off to the left of Chenard. Smacked off the wall, and then to Chorsky. He backhands it, leaping though. It's gloved and held in the zone by Moore. Moore in shot, and he scores. Ooh, nice shot from the right circle. 28 seconds left in power play time. Up top, Bavaro, shot pad, save, rebound, score! Matt Dorsey. Power play goal for the Wild. We're even at a goal apiece. Nick Cherkowski spins into center, drops it off, back across, shot, and a score. Connor Milburn ended up with it. A lot of chatter, but a little bit of a late shove. Luley gave Reynolds a face wash, and now Penny comes in and they start throwing. Penny trying to get after Luley. Cherkowski continues to battle for it, then loses it to Ormsby. Ormsby up the right side is going to try to get the angle. He's in, he shoots, he scores! Luke Ormsby powering up the right wing. Got a step, cut hard to the front of the net, and just jammed it in home low underneath Karan. Dorsey hits the brakes and works it along for Morton. Nice pass from Sam Morton. Inside out, shot, he scores! Oh, what a goal by Sam Morton. Beautifully set up by Matt Dorsey, and the unbelievable hands of Sam Morton. He finishes it off with a top shelf rocket, and the Wild now lead it 3-2. 10 seconds left. Pass through center, broken up. Herzog flips it towards the empty net and in. An empty net goal for Dylan Herzog will seal this one.
And right after the game, they took a shower, got dressed, hopped on the bus, and headed on up to Salmon Arm yesterday. They beat the Silverbacks. The final was 4-1. Don't have time for the highlights. We'll have those highlights for you on our website in the next couple hours or so. Just look for it there. And 38 days, by the way, until opening day of the baseball season. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. 28 minutes after the hour. It's President's Day. We're not going to do that for the obscure holiday. It's not so obscure. It's National Cabbage Day. But we're going to go with National Random Acts of Kindness Day. It's always on February 17th. Started in New Zealand, and now it's become an international holiday. So do something nice for somebody. A complete stranger, a family member, a coworker. Pay for the food for the person behind you in the drive-thru, that kind of stuff. Several studies show that kindness is, in fact, contagious, the good kind of contagious. If you do an act of kindness for another person, that person who receives that act of kindness is more likely to pay it forward, so to speak. Happy National Random Act of Kindness Day on this February 17th. Today in history, the presidential election of 1800 finally came to an end on February 17th, 1801. Yeah, it took a little while. This was the tie, the electoral tie between Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. Jefferson eventually was elected president of the United States, Burr vice president. It was a long and bitter campaign. It was nasty. When it was all over, the election was over. Both Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr each had 73 electoral votes. John Adams had 65 electoral votes. They went to the House of Representatives. They bartered. They went back and forth. And finally, old TJ, on the 36th ballot, finally won the election on February 17th, 1801. Turned out to be a pretty good idea. Aaron Burr never forgave Alexander Hamilton for working behind the scenes to get Jefferson elected. February 17, 1964, 56 years ago today, Westbury v. Sanders, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that congressional districts have to be approximately equal in population. It followed up on Baker v. Carr in 62, Reynolds v. Sims in 1964. Basically, one person, one vote finally came constitutional-wise on this date back in 1964. And this is the 48th anniversary of the day that the Volkswagen Beetle surpassed the Model T Ford as the most sold automobile in the world. The Model T is now the best-selling car in 9th place. They have the list, the best-selling automobile models of all time. The Model T is now 9th. The Beetle is now 4th on that list. The Toyota Corolla, by the way, is the best-selling car model of all time, but the Volkswagen Beetle took the #1 spot on the charts, as it were, back in this date of 1972. Finally, birthdays. Thomas J. Watson was the president and CEO and chairman of IBM from 1914 to 1956. IBM had 1,300 employees. In 1914, when he took over, when he retired, Thomas J. Watson, IBM had 73,000 employees. Revenues were $827 million. 90% of all calculating and tabulating machines were IBM models. IBM was everywhere. Typewriters, wall clocks, printers, you name it. Thomas J. Watson called the world's greatest salesman when he died, and he done pretty good. The very definition of the CEO of an American enterprise. The great Gene Pitney, born in the state of 1966. I love Gene Pitney. He wrote He's a Rebel for the Crystals. He also wrote Hello, Mary Lou for Rick Nelson, had a number of hits on his own. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2002. I have an autographed Gene Pitney photo at my house. Gene Pitney died eight years ago at the age of 66. Wally Pipp, born in the state in 1893. His claim to fame came down with that headache. In 1925, Gehrig in for Pipp. Gehrig stayed in for Pipp. Wally Pipp was a good sport, though. He stayed with the Yankees for the rest of the year, taught Gehrig some of the finer points of playing first base. Wally Pipp, who suffered the most famous headache in sports history, born in the state in 1893. Jim Brown, named the greatest college football player ever during this year's national championship game. The great Jim Brown also dabbled in acting for a while. Probably the greatest football player ever, is 84 years old today, and the greatest basketball player ever, Michael Jordan, is 57 years old today. Going to take a break. Everyone's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. Then we're going to replay my interview with Jefferson Robbins, our top reporter who just joined our staff. And we'll do that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
It's time to renew your body and mind. It's time for Stressless. Now at Boswell's. Save hundreds with a free leather upgrade or $300 on the immensely popular Stressless Sunrise, featuring innovative ergonomic comfort systems and multiple sizes for a personalized fit. Don't wait. It's time for Stressless. Proud to be endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Are you like many who are lacking in their retirement plan but are skeptical to talk to an advisor? Are you concerned about where you should put your money or who to trust? At Solomon Financial, we are more about the people we serve than policies or products. We are a fee-based fiduciary with the mission of giving you the peace of mind so you can live the retirement of your dreams. If you have any of these questions or concerns, we'd welcome you to come see us.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, when I was a cop in Wenatchee for 20 years, I have to admit, I'm a junkie for TV shows. Was then, am now. TV shows and movies. I have seen every episode of Hill Street Blues, every episode of Law and Order, Blue Bloods, and NYPD Blue. Now, I've watched these things so often that my wife thinks I'm demented. And the one thing I've noticed about all these shows, the one common denominator is that it is incredibly easy to handcuff people on TV. I don't care what the bad guy is doing, fighting, running. As soon as they're tackled or thrown to the ground or pushed against a fence, their hands immediately go behind their back. And then the cuffs are applied effortlessly. It's like a miracle. Too bad it wasn't like that in real life. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Exercise gets everybody to be the best version of themselves they can be. And that's what I see us doing. And a lot of people see gyms as selling memberships. We see ourselves as helping our members become exercise practitioners so that their life is better, their day-to-day is better. That's what we do.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. We are here in Studio B, which is adjacent to Studio A, which is nowhere near Studio C. The person to my immediate left is no stranger to this program. We love Jessica Johnson. Unfortunately, Jessica Johnson is the executive director of SAGE. Unfortunately, Hank the dog couldn't be here today because he's working, and he's a working dog.
He is. He is a working dog, so he has been busy. Seeing kids. We've had lots of forensic interviews that have happened in the past week or so, actually since the turn of, since the year, the new year. And then he's also been at trials and things like that. So he's a busy guy.
Yeah, you see Hank, and his personality is so mellow and so relaxed, and so you just want to pet him and give him a bunch of loves, and that's Hank's job,
right?
Is to do just that. So we think, well, how hard does Hank work? But he works hard.
He works hard, yes, he does. And you can tell afterwards when he's done seeing a client or he's done being at the courthouse. When he comes back, he goes straight to his bed and lays down, and he sleeps because he takes on all that emotional energy. And even in the office, he can tell, like when somebody's having a rough day, or we're all in staff meeting and somebody is just giving out a vibe like they might need something extra, he'll go lay his head on their lap and visit with them, and then just like we see with the kiddos, the employee starts stroking Hank's head and his ears, and they just kind of relax, they kind of melt into their chair. So it's really nice to have him there, and he really does work hard.
Yeah.
So
and that's the good news, is that Hank is doing his job and he's doing it well. The bad news is alluding to what you started with. He's been busy, which means you've been busy, which is not good news.
Right. No, it's really not good news. I mean, every time I come out of here, I think we talk about how I'm trying to work myself out of a job, and so far that hasn't happened. And unfortunately for Hank, it's probably not going to happen. So we have just been busy, and we kind of see an uptick after the holidays.
And you've mentioned that. People have a tendency to try and be on their best behavior over the holidays. They oftentimes fail, but at least they're putting some sort of effort. People who have these violence issues and anger issues or whatever, and then the holidays are over, and it's like,
it's kind of like, okay, nobody's going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
The real selves come out, and sometimes it's really hard for kiddos. Suffer a lot for that because they see mom and dad fighting, or mom, or whatever the family dynamics might be. They're fighting, it might get physical, it's just hard
days
to do.
are short, nights are long,
Right.
temperatures are cold.
Exactly.
People are shut in more often,
Right.
and then personalities can start.
So, yes, popping up, yes.
Yeah,
But the good thing is that at SAGE, they can come in, we can help them, and we usually work with CPS and law enforcement and facilitate a forensic interview where either myself or one of my staff or law enforcement or CPS does the interview. It's taped much like this, and then hopefully the goal is so the child only has to tell their story a limited amount of times, and once that happens, then the law enforcement CPS can carry on with their investigation. They have that DVD to look at and review, and so the kiddo doesn't have to keep saying what's going on.
And that's important.
That's
because
important.
It's that release of it. I finally get to talk to somebody about what happened to me, but you don't want to have to do it over and over and over and
Right,
over again.
because that just re-victimizes the kiddo.
Right.
And then, once Hank's introduced in the picture, then the kiddo and the non-offending caregiver can come back for help, and we can walk through the legal process with them all the way up, and in fact, until court, being in court until the juries come back. And
It's funny, I've had you on the show so many times, and people are quite familiar with the services that SAGE has to offer. I don't think I've ever asked you this question before, Jessica. What kind of services can SAGE not provide in the realm of domestic violence and things that we talk about?
That's a very good question. We are not allowed to serve perpetrators of violence. So if, excuse me, and that's really the only thing that we're not allowed to do. There's some financial things that we can't do, like we can't put a down payment on a house for anybody or other things like that. But if they're a victim of crime, we more than likely can help them in some way. And if we are not the right place to help them, we can get them to the right place, so we can help facilitate that. So maybe our shelter might be full, or maybe they're looking to move back home with their parents or their family. And maybe we can't pay for all of that, but maybe we can get part of it and help them figure out how to get the rest of it.
And for the uninitiated, I've asked Jessica this question before, but just real quickly, we'll touch on this before we move on to other things. How the cycle works as far as law enforcement investigates what may be a crime, and then they bring SAGE in, or SAGE sits down with a client who's finally reached out and is tired of being abused, and SAGE has to bring in law enforcement. It's kind of an interchangeable sort of thing?
Right. For the most part, especially with violence surrounding kiddos, law enforcement and CPS usually bring those to us. Of course, we're mandated reporters, so if something were to happen and we had to report that, our first call would be to law enforcement or CPS. And then we don't ever initiate the forensic interview. That's law enforcement and CPS. But yes, we can refer back and forth between each other. And we have had clients come in and victims come in and sit down and say, I think I'm ready to report. Will you sit here with me while we call law enforcement? Or will you go with me to police?
So that's how that works. I was curious, because I'm wondering if somebody goes to SAGE first to relieve themselves and finally spill talk about what's been going on. How do you know at what point, okay, this is a violation of the law and now we have to bring in law enforcement? Where does that happen?
Right. And for adults, that's their decision.
Right.
I mean, but for kiddos, we're mandated reporters, so we cover the same statutes as anybody else, doctors, school officials, things like that. And so if we know that the person is being hurt, they're planning to hurt somebody else or hurt themselves, then that's a mandated report. And we're usually pretty honest with kiddos too up front about that, because you don't want to build that trust and be like, yes, tell me all your secrets, and by the way, now I have to go report them.
Yeah.
So we will, sometimes it takes a little bit of a process that we'll see them several times, and then they'll be like, okay, I'm ready to talk about it now.
Once the ball starts rolling, does the quote-unquote system work for the most part?
Yeah.
I know that's a big question, and I'm sorry.
I know. It does, but sometimes the ball rolls very slowly.
As the justice system does.
Right. Yeah. And we live in a day and age of all this technology and all these TV shows where things come on, and it takes an hour for somebody to be arrested, convicted, and in jail, and
not counting commercial breaks.
Right. Exactly. And then more for us, it's like we have seen cases go 2-3 years before the child or the victim even testifies. So that's really hard, because everybody expects swift justice, and it's not always the case.
Not always the case. Patience is definitely a virtue. February is help me out.
Teen Dating Violence
Awareness Month.
Yes.
Which unfortunately
it happens too. Yeah.
It happens too.
Yes.
What do you want people to take away from Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month?
Between the two of us, we should be able to say it, right? Well, I think that the most important thing is to have good conversations with your kids, have good open lines of communication. A lot of times kids are judged by whether or not they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It's a status thing in high school. Everybody thinks that they need somebody during that time.
Yeah. Everybody wants to have a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Exactly. And so knowing what's really going on with your kiddo is a huge thing. If you see some red flags, then it should be, if you have those open lines of communication, you should be able to talk about those.
Those
with
red
them.
flags are?
Well, I said this and somebody corrected me the other day. If you have, your kiddo is receiving hundreds of text messages from the same person each day, and they seem to be glued to their device, and or if you see that, they don't want to introduce you to their significant other, or maybe they're just really out of sorts and upset. Those kinds of things should be red flags, especially if you know if they're going with somebody, if they're dating somebody. Teens' lives are so different than when I was a teenager. So, I mean,
which was just 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that. But it totally is. I mean, we didn't have these little devices that we're glued to all the time now, and so it gives a new way of power and control to work. So.
Even though teenagers specifically, adolescence is a terribly painful and awkward time. Kids are notoriously bad at keeping secrets. Kids are notoriously bad at, hey, dig me. And they're also notoriously bad about keeping secrets and gossip and things like that. The default thing, if you think something is going on, is to talk about it, right? I mean, at least try and believe this teenager, even if you think this teenager is just a cry for help that isn't really there.
Right, just being dramatic.
The default mechanism should always is believe them.
Right.
Instead of not.
Right, exactly. And we've had kids as young as 11 in our office who have reported dating violence.
11?
11.
Boy, things have changed
Yes.
since you and I were kids.
I know. I mean,
10 years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But that's just the amazing thing about my job is we see all sorts of different things that happen, and unfortunately, it's something that we need to do. And having those open lines of communication and not sitting a kid down and saying, so, not interrogating them, but just letting the conversation grow organically so that they can talk to you about what's going on is huge. So, but we know that over 1.5 million high schoolers have reported some sort of type of abuse. That's a big number in my eyes. So.
And for the teenagers out there, and I have a huge audience amongst the youth of today.
Yeah.
I don't really. My friend Patty, I know her boyfriend is abusing her, but she completely denies it. He denies it. Nobody's talking about it. How do you? Because there's privacy issues involved.
Right.
If you're a friend of somebody who's being abused, but simply as a teenager and simply refuses to go forward, because we talked about the victimization thing before. How do they? I don't know. Anonymous phone call. How do you do? What do you
do? Well, the person that's the friend can always reach out to SAGE too, because we provide services there. And really, it's not much different than what we tell adults. Is just to be there for your friend and be there to make sure that they understand that you're there. Probably don't badmouth the significant other, and I say that because if you start bad-mouthing, sometimes the person feels like they need to defend them. And they may even, the victim might even know that it's not right, but they're embarrassed and they're ashamed and they're not sure how to get out of it. And sometimes it just gets worse if you just say, I'm done, I'm gonna call it quits. So sometimes they need to figure out a way that they can distance themselves from that abuser. So having somebody there as a support system is a really important thing. But also as the support system, you need to get some help so that you can debrief too, so that you can stay strong for your friend.
Does violence beget violence? Mom was abused growing up, so it's a normal part of life. Because when I was a teenager, my boyfriend beat the hell out of me.
Right. Actually, if a kiddo grows up in a home with domestic violence, they're twice as likely to be a victim of violence or twice as likely to be a perpetrator of violence. So it's a learned behavior. And you can learn that from your home, you can learn it from school, of course, the media, all sorts of different places. And we've talked about this before. Dating violence, domestic violence isn't caused by like alcohol. It's not caused by anything, drugs, anything like that. Those types of things can escalate it and make it happen faster.
But they're not the core
But
cause.
they're not, it's a learned behavior. It's not a disease, it's a learned behavior.
Onward and upward to better
Yes.
things. By the way, there's always hope, and we'll talk about that when we get to the end of some enchanted evening. You will meet a stranger. Ooh, Rogers and Hart are going to sue the hell out of me. It's your 8th annual fundraiser. Talk
Yes.
about it.
So Enchanted Evening this year will be March 7th. It will be at the Wenatchee Convention Center. We're so excited about this event. We're having the theme of the Roaring 20s. So we're encouraging people to dress if they would like in the Roaring 20s. So has some great ideas for decorating and things like that. The Wenatchee Valley Convention Center is going to do some really good food. We got
I've
to
looked
do
at the menu online.
a tasting, yes. And when they do tasting, they go all out. I mean, you do not leave at all hungry. You feel like you shouldn't eat for like days. But this year we're also going to have dancing afterwards. So we'll have the beginning, social hour kind of thing. We have Bruce Simpson designed some very cool pearl earrings for us, looking like the 1920s type thing. And we're going to do something new this year, and people can buy a glass of champagne for $50, and they'll be entered into a drawing to win these. And they're worth more than $300. And so, yeah.
And he's talented.
They're great. And then we will have, of course, our live auction. We'll have some community awards, our silent auction, the dessert dash, which is always fun. You get to get some really, really good desserts. And then after the live auction, we'll have dancing. So this is the first year we're going to do dancing. We were asked last year why we've never done dancing. And that was our first year in the convention center. And the honest reason was we never had enough space. So we've got some really great items for the live auction too. Tickets to Disneyland. We're doing a table and a limo ride for next year's gala, so gala in style. Don't worry about the designated driver. We've got some tickets to some really fantastic things, some trips. So it'll be a really good event.
So what does admission buy you to get you in the door? Buys you dinner.
Buys you dinner and 2 drinks. The champagne thing I was talking about.
The Roaring 20s, there was prohibition there.
Yeah, we're going to do the speakeasy theme.
Okay,
So it buys you drinks. It buys you 2 drinks, and then after that, they're on you. And then, of course, your dinner and just admission to a really good time. We'll have a photographer there. It's just going to be a good thing. Hank will be there.
Good,
so
good.
He's
But you cannot buy Hank.
no, but you could buy an experience with Hank.
Oh,
That's one of the
okay.
live auction items this year.
Okay.
So yeah.
So basically, Hank sits there and you give him treats.
Right.
I pay for that.
Yes.
I pay for that. Again, it's Saturday, March 7th at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Begins at 5. Everything that we just talked about, I found very easily on your website. The organization is SAGE. The acronym. Don't tell me. I'll get it. Strength, advocacy, growth, empowerment.
So close.
Oh!
Safety.
Safety.
Advocacy, growth, and
Well,
empowerment.
strength isn't bad either.
Yeah, no,
You know, go with
it's
that.
not bad.
So what I did is I just Googled Sage Wenatchee, and your website popped right up,
Right.
and it's all right there. You get
Yes.
your tickets there and everything. And
Yes.
Which leads me to the last question, because we're almost out of time. The Michael Diana Legacy Award. Talk about that real
Yes.
quickly, please.
So this year, this is new. We have had some victims of domestic violence that have been murdered in our area the last couple years. Michael Diana was my cousin, and she is no longer here because of that. But we wanted to honor her legacy because of how she lived. She was very selfless, very bubbly, very pull yourself up by your bootstraps, very selfless. She just did a lot of good for people and always was looking for the good in people. And so what we want to do this year is we want to award some person this award. And it's a lady, a woman, preferably. And what we're hoping to do is just continue this on. So they don't have to be a victim of domestic violence, but just somebody that is kind of like a woman of the year, somebody that you know that has done really good things for their community, their family. Michael was very family oriented and just is a good person. And we want to continue this on for years to come. And my goal is not to remember Michael for how she passed, but to remember Michael for how she lived, which was, I just can't say enough good things about
And again,
her.
the nomination form is right on the same page
Yeah.
as you can get all the other information.
Yes.
About SAGE, which wraps up our interview. And again, we want to stress this because we always, whenever Jessica comes in, there's help, people.
Yes,
Always.
please
I'll
call.
let you close it out with letting people know I've been dealing with something for a while and I don't know what to do, or I do know what to do, but I don't have the guts to do it. There's always help at SAGE.
There's always help at SAGE, yes. You can call us at 663-7446, 24 hours a day. We're always staffed for the crisis line. You can look on our website, findsafety.org. You can find us on Facebook and message us there. There's just lots of different ways. You can walk in and see us at our on our Chelan Avenue office, and we also have offices up in Chelan and other places when needed. So just call in and just maybe talk to somebody. You don't even have to tell us your story at first. Just maybe call and ask about our services.
And again, it's one of your biggest fundraisers, if not the
Yes,
biggest fundraiser for you
yes.
guys of the year. It is Saturday, March 7th at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Dress appropriately. They don't care how you dress. As long
Right.
as your check clears the bank, they'd
Yeah.
love to see you. It's always good to see you. Sorry Hank couldn't make it. Well,
Yes.
say hi to the big guy for me.
I will. I promise
Yeah.
next time if he's not working, I'll bring him. So.
Absolutely. Jessica Johnson, the Executive Director of SAGE, visiting us once again on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family. Green Motion e-bikes is located right downtown on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
And we are back on this President's Day, this Monday, the 17th day of February 2020. It is President's Day, so once again, a friendly reminder, governmental offices are closed. There's no school today. Most financial institutions are closed. Link Transit will not be running buses today. A lot of people have the day off. I hope you have the day off, and hope you have a chance to get out and enjoy this beautiful weather. We're in actually all week long. It's going to be gorgeous. There is a ridge of high pressure. It will pretty much dominate our weather all during this work week. No major weather impacts expected, just sunny and nice. Temperatures just a little bit above normal. We'll top off at 43 today, 42 on Tuesday. The only trade-off in all of this is that the overnight lows are going to get pretty darn chilly. Obviously, clear skies at night with no clouds to hold the heat in means our overnight lows will be dipping down into the mid-20s, which means it'll take a little while longer for the sun as it climbs up over the horizon to warm us up. So that's why we're going to have things just a little bit cooler than maybe we would like. But I got no complaints. 43, 42, 42, 44, no problems at all. Friday afternoon is when things are going to start changing as a weak weather system moves into the area and just in time for the weekend, wouldn't you know it? On Saturday and Sunday, we're going to warm up a little bit, but we're going to cloud up as well. Can't rule out a stray raindrop or a snowflake on Saturday and Sunday, even though it's very sunny and nice. It feels more like mid-March than mid-February. It's a friendly reminder we're still in the winter time, of course. Everybody enjoy your President's Day. I hope you have a chance to get the day off, and we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.